All right, so welcome to the regular meeting of the White Lake Library Board on Wednesday, Tuesday. Oh, yeah, Tuesday, not April, February 28th. Geez. Okay, that was a mouthful. So we'll commence the meeting at, is it like 6:50-ish?
At 6:48.
We'll say 6:48. Okay, and then I don't have my agenda out. We do roll call first. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
President Jennifer Schultz,
Here.
Vice President Richard McGlue,
Here.
Treasurer Gwendolyn Newton. Here. We have JP Dudek absent and excused. Karen Rhines trustee here and Eric Chaplin
Here.
trustee.
Okay,
And
do you have to say anything else?
no, I think that's it.
Do we have to do public at all or anything at this time? All right.
We do the agenda
Under
first.
public comments, okay. So let's move on to approval of the agenda. Can I get someone to
I'll move
do
to
that?
approve the agenda as presented.
Seconded.
Okay, do I say all in favor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okey doke. So you have 4 yes votes. Okay. All righty, now, public comments, you guys want to show your thing?
With friends, and I just want to give you an update on what friends.
This is Patty, right? You're gonna have to come up here so you're on
Oh,
camera.
all right. Yes,
I need.
I'm Patty. I'm with the Friends. I just want to give you a quick update as to what the Friends have been doing and get you caught up. Well, we started an entertainment committee.
Give your address and phone number first under public.
Oh, okay. Patty Leonard, my address, 10570 Estola Avenue, White Lake, Michigan, 48386. My phone number is 248-363-6477. Once again, I'm with the Friends, and we're just a little update on what we've been doing. We started a entertainment committee so we were always looking for new members and fresh ideas and trying to get our old members engaged versus just 10 of us doing the same thing all the time and trying to get other people in other stuff.
Do you know what?
To help us out.
You're under my officer's report. Do you want to keep going?
Well,
Go ahead,
okay.
go ahead. You
I'm
finish.
just gonna, then, okay, well, okay, one thing we started was a bunco, and it was a bunco. I had no idea what it was, but a lot of us didn't. It was so sort of a Yahtzee game. I grew up with Yahtzee, but anyway, it was so we decided to hold a bunco event, and it turned out well. So we're having another one April 1st. Another thing that we're very much excited about is our tea. The tea is finally coming to fruition, and we're so excited about it. And it's been 3 years.
What's the date for the tea?
The tea, May 7th. The tickets go on sale March 22nd. So buy them fast, they're going to sell out. But we have Victoria's tea salon. I think she's out of South Lyon. We're going to have a fashion show, Kim Rose Fashions, up in she's from Grand Blanc, and we have 3 models, but we're looking for more. So if you're interested, anyone here on this board or have a friend that are interested, we could use a few more people.
Is it just women who need male models? Or just women?
Well, I don't know, but
Find out, because my son wants.
oh, okay. Well, I don't
He
know.
learned how to do that when he was young.
Yeah, maybe
Uh-huh.
check with Carol. We can check with Carol and Gwen, because they would have know if Kim Rose has any male.
Okay, I don't
clothes.
know.
I will. I'll check with them.
Okay.
And so, and the other thing is Linda, we want to do our memorial for Larry. It's been a few years. He was very instrumental in with Liz to get this library built. And so we do have some money that people have donated to us for this memorial. And so Jerry, Linda and I have been working on a few ideas. Jerry and I went the traditional role as, you know, the park bench with the kids and the balloon. But we decided to go in a different direction to sort of fit in with this modern building, maybe a more contemporary thing. And that's where Linda comes in. And so Linda has been working very hard with these designers. So she has the pictures also. So
Oh, we're gonna put them on the,
you want to? I don't know.
up to
Linda
you.
has them, so.
do we have it to put on the screen? We don't have it, so let's.
We have it in paper.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
we'll look at the papers.
So Linda, you can talk about it because that's the way we want to go
Okay,
in that direction. So Linda's been working with that.
I'm Linda Ray, 10,001 Burgess Court, White Lake, Michigan. I'm here to make the presentation on our memorial for Larry Ostrowski. What we've done is we've had a number of meetings with the friends, going over different options, and we finally came up with this. As Patty has said, it's in relationship to how the building is on the outside, and we thought this was more appropriate. So we're going with silhouettes, at least that's how we are right now. We've had a number of meetings, it's been approved by our board, and of course, we will make a presentation to our membership.
and they're steel and they're powder coated, so they won't rust.
They are sealed and poly coated, they will not rust. They can be placed anywhere around the building. We've given you a number of options. I have some larger pictures here if you want to look at them.
Or is everybody okay with this?
You can see, okay.
We're good.
The ones that we have looked at, the options that we have available, the one with the black background really does not show the black silhouettes as well as we'd like it to. The other one that showed with the park benches, we can see that we would have to remove some structure here that is already there, paving. So we are not as likely to want to use that spot. This spot on the side of the building, there was going to be some problems with the DIA and their options of where to put their things. So we probably would not choose that spot. So we were looking at the spot.
The DIA? What's that?
Would be inside our program.
Yeah,
So the artwork that we're getting from the GIA, which is temporary from May through October, that is one of the spots that it's going to be in, as well as the children's area and then left to the building. But that's temporary.
Yeah.
So if it's a matter of us thinking that that's the most appropriate spot for it,
Are we talking right here?
yes.
yes.
That's what I thought.
And then there's a spot though in the front of the building that's very nice.
Okay.
And that spot, if you'll notice in one of these pictures, you can see that little orange outline from our building. And in the picture, you also see that the balloons look like a golden orange. He, in speaking with Dunmore Metal, they said that they would match up that color on the balloons.
Okay.
So that way it would be
That's what this
very
spot is here.
appropriate for us to use the balloons that are matching. Now, again, whatever you decide is what you want to do, we can wait until after October. If that's only a temporary thing and you really want it to go in that space. If we're looking at the space in the front, there would be no problem. We will have somebody who can be contracted to install it. So that way you won't have any concerns about liability. It should be installed into concrete. We know that it's got 30-inch. And he showed you in that one picture that it's got the 30-inch stakes going down from it. So I don't think that it would have any problem with it being secure and people couldn't use it. And especially with children coming in and out of the building, I don't think we have any concern
And
with
that's
that.
technically right here in the front of the building, right on this side.
Right.
Yeah,
So there are options of where you want to put it. Whatever you decide on, we would like to be able to take that decision back to our board also and to our quarterly meeting, because we were the ones who are supporting this and we'd like to also have our input in it too. So whatever you do decide on, just let us know. And again, I agree that the DIA is just a temporary thing. So if it was a matter of waiting until after it left, if that's
Yeah.
really where we want it to go. But I also think the option at the front of the building is very, very nice. And it would be something we could always enjoy.
You had talked about wanting this to be like a photo op.
Yes,
Being at the front of the building, they're gonna have to walk across the grass quite a bit to get to it. Where that's not such a big deal on the side here. But you know, what, we can put it under new business and talk about it some more, so we don't take up your time and look.
So I have a question about this on the side, Jen, if it's on the side, is it gonna be right in front of the, is it gonna be right at the edge of this?
I think it's going to be in the bed itself.
It's gonna be in the
It's
bed.
like,
yes, he's
Like
only
this
showing you
one
the
here?
space. That's why that's,
yeah,
it looks like it's outside, but it would be inside the bed.
yeah. So this one, I don't think he's got a picture of. With the stakes in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be in the bed itself. That's there. We don't have any foliage in there. So I'm wondering if we have any,
And that's where the DIA is gonna have,
that is brand new news to me.
and
As
why
of 5
can't they,
minutes
why
ago.
can't they modify where they put them?
Well, that's what I was gonna suggest. Maybe we just make this an item to talk about more.
Okay.
Under new
And that would be
business.
up to you. I just
Mhm.
wanted you to see
Yeah,
what we've got.
thank you.
I want you to know that Dunmore is working with us and will
Uh-huh.
make accommodations any way we need them to.
Okay,
And it is gonna be something that will last a lifetime. So once we put it up, it will be there.
This is
The other
something-
thing is that he right now has the memorial plaque standing facing up on a series of stakes. We were thinking more that we'd like it to be down nearer to the ground and a little more tilted backward.
Mhm. You
So
could
that
do
it's not so intrusive on
Yeah.
the silhouettes.
Yeah, we could also, depending on what it costs to do this, we might be able to do a sign with the Image 360, who we've been doing all our signs with. We could just have them quote on that.
Oh,
What else, what you want to have on there, that kind of stuff, because I just find that a little difficult to read.
yes.
So, but maybe if we had a standing plaque like that, it's printed on it's all UV resistant and all that other stuff. We have other signs outside. We could try to tie that into it.
It's all up
So,
for, you know,
yeah.
it's just,
attached to the wall.
there could be some
That's a
discussion on it.
possibility. If that'll work, we can do it that way too.
We could do that and he's
Mhm.
available to do that. The
Okay.
only reason we were saying that it would be matching.
Mhm.
So
I understand that.
that's the only reason we got an option from him.
Yeah.
He's been very, very open to whatever we want to do. So if you give us suggestions, we will take it back to our board and we'll go from there.
Okay. And when is the next time you guys meet?
We meet March 6th,
Okay.
I think it is. And I will clarify that with you. Okay, I just
Okay.
need
Is
to
that
go
a
back to my
Monday?
desk and
Is that a Monday or Tuesday?
could I go back?
It's a
to
Monday.
It's not already
Monday.
with dates, okay, and I'll get it back to you, okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
The powder coat. Outside, lawnmowers. Rocks get thrown. Or, you know, from snow blowers or whatever, there, what's the durability of the powder coat? We're gonna have dings from.
I'm sure he can find out from like the product information, but
Yeah,
typically, I've worked in coatings before.
Yeah.
Typically, anything that's powder coated has good adhesion
Mhm.
because of the high heat and when they come together.
okay,
So, But yeah.
It's more intense than you have on your car, so,
okay.
yes. All right, thank you very
Okay,
much for your
thank
time.
hey, thank you.
I love I love the, you know, the down on the knees with the kids.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
Really,
All righty, thank you.
the balloons.
And then let's go ahead and hear from Liz now too, since we're into my section of the meeting already.
We want to approve the minutes for last one.
No, let's get through it and leave and then we'll do the minutes.
Yeah, it's the public comment.
I'll grab a chair and sit.
Come on up.
Well, sure.
So, for anybody who doesn't know, and for the record, Liz is our liaison with the township. And has also served on the board in the past and was very instrumental in getting the land for the library and getting the library built. So thank you for past efforts. And we have some new members here and I just wanted you to be able to meet them.
Right, thank you so much. So thank you for having me this evening. Good evening to all of you. I want to welcome Eric and new members that are serving this term and old members alike. Jen and Rich and I have loved this library for a dozen years together. So I'm in a very unique position as I have literally sat in your seats and made decisions for this library and had the pleasure of, as Jen mentioned, along with Jen and Rich being very instrumental in building this library. So thank you again for having me this evening. And I just want to go over a couple of things with you. I want to make sure that, I have welcomed April, but I'll welcome her again. And I'm enjoying getting to know her and look forward to getting to know her more. I want to make sure that you all know I'm very accessible to you. I share my phone number, my cell phone. I don't mind evening calls. I don't mind weekends. And I want you to utilize me. That's what I'm here for. Like I said, I have sat in your shoes. I'm very familiar what you do to run this library and your efforts and skill set to run this board efficiently. So please utilize me more. If you have questions, if you have suggestions, concerns, when it comes to the library and of course the township. I'm your liaison. You are an independent and autonomous board, so I do not vote on your board, but I am your liaison. And with that, I do my best to communicate, to be the go-between, so things go as smoothly as possible between your board and my board. I try to make announcements at all of the township board meetings during my trustee comments. You are always welcome to text me or call me and let me know if there's something that you would like me in particularly to talk about for the friends as well. I do my best to keep up as a private citizen. I'm very involved in this library and I've been friends of the library and fundraised and put together your Facebooks and all kinds of stuff as a personal lover of this library. But in my professional capacity, I'm your ally. I'm here to assist you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to make your experience smoother as you may need to navigate through anything through the township or the community. So some exciting things that we have coming up in the township to give you a quick update is we are moving ahead with the Civic Center, which we will be your neighbors. And we look forward to, that's always been a dream to have a complex here together and be cohesive. So we are moving forward as a township board to build a civic center that will include a public safety building for our police and fire, a new town hall, which will include a community senior center. And then we are working on what I like to call closest we're going to get to a downtown or a hub, town square, might be a town square. We haven't quite gotten that far yet into the details, but that's what our goal is and what we are hoping for, to really create a hub for our community. In that hub, you are included, and I want you to know that I will make sure you are included. There will be walkability, a greenbelt path walkability that you can reach from the library to Stanley Park. There will be sidewalks to reach on along the road. Project coming up soon is we have already voted upon to island Elizabeth Lake Road, starting at Stanley Park to the library. It will not be a full boulevard. It will be an island that is meant to slow traffic down and say, hey, this is our area. This is our community center, if you will. There will be parallel parking on the street. We have received a grant for infrastructure, so we are going to start as soon as possible on that this year. We don't have the plans yet to build our internal infrastructure of roads, but we are working on it. We've received our RFPs and we're going to be interviewing construction managers. And once we pick our GM, just like the library did, we'll be off and running more with our plans. But in the beginning phases, when we island, we will be stubbing into where our entrances will be. And many moons ago, when this, well, a few years ago, when this library was built, I served 2 terms. I should say I served 2 terms on this board. So we had a lot of discussions, and you will be hopefully connected. That is the plan, to connect to the civic center and quote downtown area, so that residents don't have to pull back out onto the main road to access the library. So very exciting.
That would be excellent.
Very exciting for the residents, very exciting for the library. There, you know, lots of plans and exciting plans in the near future coming to fruition. Finally, we are seeking actively grants all the time in the township. We have the Triangle Trail coming up. We did receive that. So it's a great pathway that will connect our park system in White Lake Township. So we're always working on sidewalks and always working on walkability. So that's exciting. So this area, you know, when a past board chose this area for the library, this is what we had hoped. We had hoped that this would become the center, vibrant, alive community area for White Lake Township. So we're getting there, and it's very exciting. Also, currently our master plan survey is out right now. We just completed our master's plan for Parks and Rec. That's available on the township website if anybody's interested. Currently, our master plan update is available on our website as a survey, and I encourage all of you to take it, and all of,
I got a Facebook post
Yes,
oh, good,
and I
Yes.
filled it out. My husband filled it out.
good.
yes, I saw it this week too. I think it was, well, everybody's power was out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll put it out on Facebook.
Yeah, so
that's
it's,
great.
we're pushing it out on all our social media platforms. So any residents listening this evening or in the future, that will be up for a while. Please take that. We want to hear from you. And that certainly includes ideas and goals or projections for this area as well.
I have a question about that survey.
Mhm.
I thought it was a great survey, and my husband and I both
Good.
filled it out. It has question on there, it has a couple questions on there about, you know, what you would like to see being focused on, right?
Mhm.
So we're getting ready to do our strategic plan here as well, and so I'm really thinking about the details of that. One of the questions or multiple questions was if you want to see improvement in infrastructure.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly what that is meant by for infrastructure. What the township includes in that infrastructure.
Well, infrastructure can be a little bit broad, but I would say that it includes sidewalks, roadways, pathways. That's what I would presume it to mean. I'd have to go back and read
I
the
didn't know,
exact
but-
question,
Yeah,
because I know there's a couple that touch on that, but that's what I would presume it.
okay, because I
should
thought
be
about calling
addressing.
the township, because I thought, well, does that mean, you know, broadband, extended water? Does it mean, underground utilities for the community? You know, what's really meant by infrastructure? Because like you said, it's very
It's
broad.
kind of all of the, yeah, it's kind of all of the above. It is a broad question. I hope that most areas in the surveys allowed you to comment or, you know, add some
Right.
further. I do look at those. For example, the Parks and Rec Master Plan, every single email comment, I read it and I tallied it up, and there was things that the Parks and Rec did not have that the residents wanted, and I put it in the plan moving forward. So those
Right.
comments are important. I read them and we try to get them in the plan. I'm very happy to accept Jen's request to be part of your steering committee for your strategic plan. So I'm looking forward to that. So you'll see more of me in the next couple of months, if you shoot me the dates. And then if you have any questions or concerns, if that's okay with Jen, I'm happy to entertain any questions you have tonight.
Fabulous. Well, you answered my one about the survey, because that was, I wasn't quite sure what the township, I know you're gonna have to focus what's meant by infrastructure.
Do you know if I could get a hard copy or an electronic copy of your survey? Because we're
Yes.
getting ready to do our survey,
Mhm.
and I don't want it to be super repetitive, but, you know, where there are places that they can be joined up.
There is. So if there are anyone, that doesn't have access to a computer, you can get a hard copy at the township.
Okay.
I can get that
I just
emailed
wanted
to
to
you,
print
would
it
be
so I
okay,
have
or
It
if
doesn't
I
matter.
get it
Email
emailed
is
to you,
fine.
could you print it out, or do you want a hard
Yeah,
copy?
because we're meeting with our strategic group that's doing the planning with us. We meet with them every other week. And
Okay.
so we're just getting to the point where we're getting ready to put our survey together, and I thought,
Mhm.
well, let's see what you guys did so we don't duplicate you, and see where they can go together, so. be
Yeah,
good straw man.
Sure, I can follow up on that.
Thank you.
One question that came up at our board meeting last month that I am to ask you is during our master plan survey. Well, I guess a little glitch in it is, once you take it, it
Mhm.
says, thank you so much, you've taken it on your home computer.
Mhm.
So the question was, if residents are using the library computer, does anybody know what will happen? So for example, you have
That
a
history.
resident using the same computer, or different residents using the same computer,
Oh, do
will
you
it
think
say? So we need to test that.
Yeah.
Will it say you've already taken it?
Are they recognizing the IP address?
I believe so. Mhm.
Okay, that could be an issue.
Yeah, so that did come up in our board meeting last week to see, to double check with your board to see what you thought about that, with the public coming into using your computers, taking the survey.
Or the.
Well, I wonder,
People from work. You know, in any place where you have multiple people in a. Like if I take the survey and my son takes the survey, that would, at home, that would be from the same IP address.
Mhm.
my husband and I were able to both fill it out, so at home,
It's probably,
and it didn't reject it. So.
It might not be a
didn't say
problem.
it,
It's
yeah.
just a question that did
For
come
sure.
up at our board meeting that I said I'd ask you guys.
I think our computers, if they when they log out, I think it wipes out the session,
Does it wipe out the cache on it?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes. So which would, like, if there was a cookie
right, it
left
would
over,
clear it.
it wouldn't be there when the next person comes out to use it.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me know if there's a problem. If patrons say that that's an issue.
For sure. Yeah, I didn't know how you were doing that too, but yeah, both my husband and I filled it out the other day. Not a problem.
Okay, good.
Quick way to fix it would be to try to enter it a second time.
Yeah.
I went to go back and said, I already said, thank you, you've already filled this out, because I was gonna add another comment.
Use the
Mhm.
back button, or you just reload it.
I reloaded it and it said I'd already done it. But I was on the same computer, right?
Right.
So he
Mhm.
was on a different, computer in the same, but it was in the same house, so we were using. the
Hopefully
exact-
it's not an issue, but if you, do find many patrons having an issue, just
Sure.
let us know so that we can try to work on it, or I don't know if it's correctable or not, but it's good to know,
But I think with the cache cleared on those computers every time they log out.
Yeah.
Mhm,
I think that it will clear the cache.
mhm, right,
And then it should be fine. But
correct, yeah.
So,
Clear the cookies, probably. It's probably a cookie.
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, sounds good.
I thought it was a great survey.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. We've gotten a lot of good positive feedback from it. So that's great. Anything else? Any other updates that you guys would like to know that I can fill you in on?
We might want to get some hard copies of the,
Yes, that would be great. Hard copies here.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes, absolutely.
sure.
Yeah.
I can help follow up on that. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update. I wanted to let you know that I'm here to utilize me a little bit more.
Yeah, well, we appreciate all the help that you gave for our,
To be here.
well, yes,
Yeah.
I was thinking. For our.
Thank you.
Oh,
We've
the
been through the trenches
Oh,
in
yeah.
that. And I-
And filling this library.
Yeah. It's my pleasure. I love to see it. So,
Uh-huh.
but for example, I was happy to help on that last issue. And it just makes things a little smoother, and it's no problem for me. I honestly, anytime, that is not, don't feel funny about asking me. That's what I'm here for.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So,
It's wonderful.
yeah.
All right.
And then I just want to finish up as on a personal note that I am so thankful to the Friends of the Library for the presentation this night. Larry was my very dear friend, and I can't wait to see that memorial go up. I still keep in a lot of contact with Margaret, his wife.
Did she move back to Ohio?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. And he and I were very close. And so I miss my friend dearly, and I'm very much looking forward to that memorial. So thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me tonight.
Thanks for
And
coming over.
invite me anytime, and I'm happy to come, and you're all welcome to, like I said, call me, email me. I don't mind weekend or evening, daytime, whatever. I want you to feel like, I'm here for you, and you can contact me anytime. Yeah. So thanks for having me. Appreciate it so much. Yeah.
Thank you. All righty. While we're here in President's Report, I have one last thing. Last time we talked about the clock. And so I met with Joe. And we came up with these 4 options.
Okay.
Okay, so it was the font we liked. And we took all of the bars and all of the dots out to make it less busy. Okay, we kept these arms for the I don't know what it's called. Doesn't say here, anyway. The hour and minute hand. He did not see a second sweep hand available.
Okay.
These will like be like, it's here and then it click,
Oh, it
click,
clicks,
click.
okay.
Yeah, so that's how the functionality is.
Are we gonna vote on these tonight?
I just thought if you guys want to tell me what your favorites are.
I have a question on the logo. So I've done some work with trademark stuff and we have it today as a sort of a single graphic. And so this would potentially break it up. I don't like it as the option 2 is, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I actually like them.
There, but from the standpoint of like branding,
Mhm.
do we care about it being broken up? If you see the way that they set it up, the W and the E sit outside of the book and it's a little bit taller. They're kind of like pillars around it. And so when you break that out, it becomes a different, it's a different mark
Mhm.
there.
I mean, we could. Our graphic over the shelves in the circ area just says White Lake Library,
Just says-
because it was so long. So if we did just White Lake Library and the graphic, just like it appears on the wall, we could probably do that.
I like number 2.
That's the one I like.
Like it's separated.
Yeah,
And I just, this is, it matches the top of our website.
yeah,
Does it say Township?
Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
yeah, that's-
Library,
Yeah, because
just
when
like
we went to do the one in the tent in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went to do that
just
one.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
So we have White Lake Library insert. And as you turn around and look back, it will say White Lake Township Library. So I would prefer it to match, but if you guys want to put the word township in there, we
but I
can do
think
that too.
that's,
Well, there is, yeah.
Because Rich's point was, I think, that it wasn't one contiguous line.
no, that
No.
one, though, the book being.
Oh,
The book,
physically
the
separated,
book,
I see
the
what you're
book on
saying.
top of the,
So these two
with the
here,
logo, that's
Yeah.
one graphic.
yeah,
And
Okay.
so by dividing it and making it different and changing the sizing of it.
yeah. Mhm.
It gets in the way, and if you kept it the same, it would, you would end up putting it. Making it bigger, it wouldn't, there's not really a space to fit that well. There, I mean, I like from the taking trademark perspective out of there, I like number 4 as the bigger size. It's, but it's
Just White Lake Library, no logo.
Hey,
What,
Jen,
like Township Library, yeah.
can the book go
Right in the middle.
right in the, like, bigger and like starting up at the numbers? And then have it go writing right behind.
Oh,
it,
I got
so
what you're saying.
you know, like, why can't the ant, because the ants are gonna go around it anyway, why can't it be a much bigger logo
Yeah,
with the writing?
Yeah, center the spine of the book, basically on the center of the dial.
this,
Yeah,
put
the,
the
And
book
lots of old
here.
things.
yeah, so the.
Oh, leave that there.
The spine of the book
Like
starts
that.
right at the dot and goes up. and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
what-
Well,
I
I would,
don't think that's a problem, I'll ask Joe, but you
Yeah,
know,
then it really would show up.
Mhm.
I like that idea.
yeah,
Kind of like that.
Then it will have a black border, a border on.
there, we had options for, I looked at options for bronze to kind of
It'll
match.
have
the-
some kind of border.
It does have a border. I looked at bronze, it just kind of
Yeah.
fades away. It
Okay.
didn't, you didn't really see the outside as
So
much,
it's
so
gonna be
ours is
black.
gonna be black.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's important to have a border on it. Okay, I like that idea.
All righty,
Great idea.
I will bring that back. Thank you, Karen. I'm gonna just send this to Joe. He may just send me something during the meeting here.
if it's possible to do that, while keeping the perspective the same
I think so.
of the, you know,
Yeah.
essentially taking the logo and sliding the book up, but keeping the same relative size.
Mhm.
It's a fairly evenly spaced logo, so like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
in terms of it fitting within a circle.
yes, yeah.
All righty, okay, so. Now, in an effort to get back on track. Let's go ahead and do the approval of the minutes.
Well, yeah.
We'll kind of get someone,
Are we gonna talk about this?
I was just gonna do it under new business. Do you want to do it now? Okay.
It's in this newspaper.
So. Have we read the minutes?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing the
Look
same.
at how long they're getting. It's like a pager. Okay,
Yeah, I read them wrong.
Yeah, I did
okay.
too. It's
So
been a
who's
while.
gonna make the motion to approve them?
Make the motion to approve the minutes as written.
Who wants to second
I
that?
will second that.
Gwen? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so you got 4 yes votes again. So now I will move on to the vice president's report. Do you have anything, Rich?
I have no report.
And Jake's not even here. Do you want to give us a report for as the acting secretary?
I got
Okay.
nothing.
All righty, so that brings us to our treasurer's report. For you,
Okay. I don't know, hopefully everybody had a chance to actually read, the balance sheet before the meeting, since we're, you know, a few days late in our meetings, and, if anybody has any questions, let me know. April, I can probably help you. The one thing. I'm probably not gonna bring it up to the finance report about CDs.
you're not going to?
I'm gonna bring it up in finance report.
Oh, not talking. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions about the budget right now, everything looks great. All of our tax money is coming in.
Have we received everything yet, do you know?
I don't know. I thought we were very close and then we got another deposit.
We're getting close.
Okay,
I would think I don't know. I thought it was gonna be by the end of February. I'm thinking.
I'm gonna do one more, adding up and see, but we're getting close.
Yes. So I thought we were gonna be done. We got a deposit, we had a deposit. Today or yesterday, yeah, maybe yesterday. And it was a smaller one, and then, I think by the 15th, I definitely by the end of the month, we should be done with our tax revenue.
okay. All right. So,
So the only other thing I have, if anybody has any questions, I'm gonna ask for the, a motion for to accept the bills for payment as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the bill for payment as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you, Rich. Karen.
and I don't recall the exact number, but we don't need to move money right now. right?
No, for a
Okay.
checking account,
Yeah.
absolutely not, and I'll bring that up with finance committee.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Alrighty,
because we're gonna, we're looking at doing some other investments because we have so much money in the checking.
okay.
So no, we don't need to move anywhere.
So who made the motion?
I made it.
You made it, Rich seconded.
Seconded.
Okay,
We haven't voted yet.
okay, so all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
So that's 4 yes votes.
Yes.
Alrighty. So that brings us to, did you have any other business you want to discuss? You good?
I'm good.
Okay,
That was it.
All right.
Finance.
so now April, you're up. It's the director's report.
So we've had some training this month, but by administration as well as some board members, taking that trustee training provided by the Library of Michigan. Good to have a refresher, and it was recorded, so if some of you missed it and would like to see it, I'm happy to email that. Oh,
Will you do that for me? Because,
I did.
okay,
Yep.
I appreciate that.
But it's
I got you.
happening again, correct? In April, or is that the trustee training 101?
There is the village one is coming back around.
Right.
Okay.
So that was.
But if you're out on MLA, there's a trustee section and you can go click on it and you can watch those videos, yeah.
Do you have to like have an account saying that you're on a board, or anybody can watch it?
You have an account.
I don't.
I signed up and didn't recall having to do anything
Do
special.
it, okay.
See, and when I try to do it, they keep telling me what's my account, and I can't remember what it
Okay,
is.
here's the problem I have. I made, when you first start,
Yeah,
you create an ID,
correct, I did that.
use your email instead.
What?
For some reason, it tells you have to create an ID.
Yes.
Okay, then you create the ID.
Yes.
Then you go back to log back in, you use the ID, it won't take it, but you use your.
They
You
they
use your
should,
email and it works.
somewhere along the way, they changed authentication methods,
Yeah.
which doesn't require.
And they say, put your ID in, it doesn't say email, so I got really frustrated, I put my email in with my password, it all worked.
Thank
So,
you,
yes,
okay.
So try it.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Cause I was in there the other day and I thought, there was a trick to this, and then I went and looked at this password protection thing that I keep, password file, and I had a hint in my password file, so
Well, there you go.
there you go, so. I don't know why they don't
Okay, thank you.
update their website, but that's the case, it should work for you. Okay,
So under services, regulation services, we due to the internal hire for the tech services position. We replaced that with a new person. Her name is Roberta. So if you have a chance to see her, she's being trained right now. So give her a shout out.
Is she gonna do the sign, or is Heather gonna do the sign?
Heather is doing the sign.
Heather's gonna do
She's
it,
learning,
okay.
so
Okay, good.
starting to get involved.
All right, because Joe reminded me that he has offered to give some standard things or help make some things to get started.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, after she gets her training, he said he'd be happy to sit down with her and help her with that.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Wonderful.
so.
Is that for the sign out front?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd like to do some exciting things for that. Okay, so
can I add Roberta? And where is she from?
she is, I believe she's local, and she did a lot of administrative assistant type of work before. It's
Okay.
very detail oriented.
Okay, great.
Under communications and marketing, we've received 2 5-star Google Business reviews. So if you had a chance to read through those, some great comments. Very excited to see that. One of them was really interesting. A patron commented that she called Oakland County to tell them that our library needs an award for how we take care of our patrons.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
She stated didn't know how she would have done through 2020 if she didn't have us to call. We received a comment on one of our comment cards by a young lady, and who said there should be puzzles all year. So we followed up with that, and we created a small shelving unit in the Idea Lab for a puzzle exchange. So you can come in,
Uh-huh.
it's just take one, give one, that type of situation. So,
Oh, that's nice.
Excellent.
so that
I
was
will
it.
donate some puzzles to that.
Okay, great.
We have, and they're all in plastic bags, so all the pieces.
Heather has been hard at work getting our marketing going as far as creating a lot of QR coded flyers to put throughout the library and really looking at different areas of the library and what a user is doing in that area, which would match up with something, some sort of service that we have. So like, for instance, in the study rooms, marketing brain views. So things like that. And then also our, our meeting rooms, if you're here in the study, maybe you need a bigger room. And so marketing that type of stuff. So she's really looking at that. And
So can I ask, as she's doing this, is this like it might be good for 3 months or it might be good forever kind of thing?
right now, I think it's gonna be temporary because
Okay.
she's gonna look at it and then we're gonna look at the stats to see, is it up in the stats on some of those online resources? So it's more of a temporary.
Can I recommend that we use those plastic letter holders to put these in?
That's exactly what we're looking at
Okay.
purchasing is more acrylic frames.
Yeah,
Yep. That's
and
exactly-
if you want to put the White Lake brand on there, like the not card catalog numbers, what are they called? That are on the shelves,
Mhm.
you know what I'm talking
Put your
about?
numbers.
Yeah, we can, even if they're smaller ones, we can do this. We've done some smaller ones. And that way it'll just all blend in and not look like, oh, let me put a piece of paper here.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that way we've got a place to, people start used to looking at them where they are and they'll map all the other stuff. Just make it look more seamless.
Great. Okay, and as you can see, she's busy learning a lot with her webinars that she's attending.
That's good.
When speaking of the friends, I went with Linda and I went and kind of co-hosted a table at the Volunteer with Art Lakes Area Chamber Volunteer Fair, which helped us to connect with people that we might be able to get to help us out as volunteers. So that was a lot of fun. I attended the Library of Michigan New Directors meeting, the all directors meetings, met with library strategies to begin our strategic planning, and also hosted a book discussion at the Dublin Senior Center. So it was nice to get over there.
Is that because we don't have someone doing that full time
So,
now? Yeah,
librarians,
okay,
me too. Until you
Okay.
get the right fit, right person.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoyed it. It was really, really nice to connect with them.
Okay.
Facilities, we're really trying to make this part of the report more robust to give you more of an idea of what's going on in the building with our facilities department. So Nate's done a great job here, kind of giving you a lowdown of what's going on his end. So yeah, so lots of good stuff going on there, moving things around, fixing what needs to be fixed. There was a lot of corners that still did not have those corner guards on them. And so it's making sure to kind of go around and get more of those corner guards.
I
out
know what you
because
mean.
some of them are taking a little bit of a beat, so
Mhm.
he's continuing to work on that, and as well as screening, priming, and painting that HVAC up in the youth area, which we found was chipping.
Okay.
Okay, so lots going on in our information services. Our seed library, again, really starting to take off now. Everyone's gonna want to start planting their seeds.
Mhm.
And February, we provided a check out seed packet of love apples, tomatoes from the seed library, and get a Valentine from the library, which was either a vine post or a bag of tomato food, which was generously
It was nice.
donated. So lots more to come on that end. One thing also, the library received a small supply of UP Notable Book Medal winner labels from the Upper Peninsula Publishers and Authors Association. Our own Amy sent a picture of the label books, as you will see there. And they shared that picture on their social media and tagged us, thanking us. So that was fun.
Oh, cool.
She did a great job. Youth and Teen Services, our Load for Kids is up and running, and we've had 16 logins with 66 stories watched. Most popular languages, Mandarin and Italian.
Oh, cool.
Very interesting. It's kind of surprised. We held an interview for our youth services position. Right now, we're gonna bring the young lady on as a sub. And try to get her library experience going a little bit and see where we go with that. Our Board of Library Teams is growing. I had a great group in March and a couple of kids that have been a real help with putting together the craft kits, so.
Nice.
That's a good. Hoping to keep continuing growing our volunteer. We wanna, later on in the agenda, I'll be talking about the night lock door security system, so more to come on that. But I do wanna give a very big shout out right now, because we're short staffed. I'm very proud of our current staff's customer service and all that they provide daily. I only hear good things about what they do, and just really wanna make sure that that
Yeah.
you're aware of that and how wonderful they are.
The
It's
staff, they're excellent. I'm in here a lot.
Yeah.
And when I was in here on Saturday, this place was just humming and it was fabulous. And all the staff here had a big smile on their face and they were all so friendly, and so kind to all the people here. And the children's direction was truly chaos. And everybody was very even tempered and really kind, and it was probably the loudest I've ever heard of children's section, but the kids really enjoyed it.
Do we have money in our budget that we could do something for recognition, like either bring in a lunch or and a dinner, like to cover both shifts? Or like give little small gift cards for that kind of
I
stuff?
think there's some, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
Well,
I mean, if things are, especially if it looks like we're gonna be short staffed for a while, you know, let's do something to celebrate how we're doing.
And I know our friends are very good with that too.
Okay,
They really
yeah,
do.
they just left.
yeah, timing.
Yeah.
But that's actually, that would be something we could look to, like the Friends
Uh-huh.
to support, so that
Okay.
we're
Alrighty,
using
well,
it.
their meeting's next week,
Yeah.
so I guess we could text them and ask them about it.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did that for our service, so it's
Okay.
very generous of them.
Alright,
And I'll touch upon how busy we've been when I get to the stats, but,
so just to be clear, do I need to follow up with Friends, or do you need to
I
follow,
can take care
or we both do, you'll do that? Okay. 'Cause tomorrow's my day off, so like tomorrow's the day I do everything. Okay.
Well, let's get you a little bit of space when you have nothing.
Technology and website, so we are conducting an inventory. Amy and our IT Mike are conducting inventory of our current computers in the building, helping us to determine which computers need to be replaced in what order. We've noticed that several of the staff units are going to be too old actually for a Windows 11 update, so we're just trying to narrow down specifically what ones need to go first.
And we have that in the budget for replacements.
It wasn't long ago that we were doing that with Windows 7 to Windows 10. And all of them had to go, basically all of them had to go.
Heather has done she conducted a free website wellness check through our TechSoup following website UX webinar she took, and overall we noticed it is in good shape. Few help that needs with maybe some page speed, some backlinks. But she's gonna be working on that. We'll work with our provider on that as well. And then also we're gonna be looking into, we do Google Analytics, but they're making a slight change we noticed recently. And so we're gonna see how that goes and kind of monitor that as far as how we do stats and stuff with that.
Are you using that to see which page is most used and what page is underused?
So statistics wise, yeah, it's been a busy month. Circulation wise, you can see just from, and we redesigned, how to redesign the statistics to see. And you can let me know if this is something you like, the way it's laid out now. We tried to make it a little bit brighter and bigger and bolder, to kind of show you specifically, so.
So we
I'll
took
go
the history,
back.
we took the older history out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you wanna go back to, we opened in 2019, can we go back to that? Just because
see
it's hard to
all
see
of
any,
them.
it's
Because
just difficult to see any kind of,
it was,
it's difficult to see any kind of trend.
right,
And, you know, 20. if
You
you-
want to add that, 1920.
Just our building though, not comparing, not including the old building,
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah.
you know,
That would be good.
So you'll see it's probably slower in opening, slower over COVID, but then
Yeah,
where we're
right,
at,
we have that dip.
hopefully.
Everything.
Yeah. It's just hard to see any kind of trend to people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're looking at
points.
2 years basically.
Okay, so yeah, so serve up, new card registration, the door count. Very busy January.
Yeah, Wi-Fi.
Internet usage.
Why is the door count so much higher?
Where are we?
Looking at the door
Well,
count. And it's
I
like,
believe last January, I think you had a small closure last January.
oh,
Is that right?
Yes.
You did.
Yeah, for a week, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that could affect last
Yeah,
year.
we had some significant weather last January as
So
well.
we also had, we had COVID outbreak, and then we did all that
I
cleaning.
remember, yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
but even so, it's a pretty high number for. January.
I agree, Rich, it's a tremendous large number. Honestly, Rich, there wasn't a spot in children's on Saturday.
Yeah.
I was waiting for people to go over into the garage. There were so many kids.
Were you tail wagging too?
I was tail wagging tutors, which,
But that'll show up for next month.
right,
Well, if you look at it from June going on, June 2022 going on, it's not outside the marginal error.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, it was busy.
that's great.
On the curbside, use. Are we gonna continue curbside after we get our, drive up?
We won't know.
Okay, so this is just our Band-Aid until we get there.
Well, one of the great things about that is, the liability for
Mhm.
an employee actually getting hurt when they're outside.
Yeah, it would be bad.
And on
Okay.
the door
Yeah.
count,
Some
Uh-huh.
bonus.
Right.
there's been a number of Saturdays that, I'll receive texts or emails, from managers saying, just to let you know, extremely busy today.
Uh-huh.
Staff's handling a wonderful job, blah, blah, blah. They update me, so I don't think that January is completely out of.
But we're not running into limits of how many people can be in the building. I mean, no, we're nowhere near those numbers. I'm assuming. I can't imagine.
What is the number? Is it posted right outside this?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's
350.
For the
Yeah,
entire
one
library?
It should be, usually the fire department.
We have fire marshal come in.
Yeah, it's usually posted.
Potentially as this room change the number, so I think it's 350.
Okay.
Okay, so they don't tag every room. It's just 350 in the whole building. Okay,
What is that? It's 250 or 350.
okay,
I know it's a joke.
okay.
So usually the fire marshal leaves us a paper though.
Yeah.
that You're supposed to actually post.
It is
So that people, yeah, it's supposed to be public posted.
They walk through it.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
So people know. Like usually you'll walk into a community building and it will tell you,
Yeah,
fire marshal indicates this many people in this.
Because this room itself should have a number.
Yes,
It's a
absolutely.
number DC line level.
Yeah.
This room is 100.
mhm,
350 seems low.
okay,
I'll check.
Unless
Okay.
this number.
I'm gonna, yeah. That does have to be posted.
Overdrive use looks great.
I like the additional information you guys have put in.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah.
We went down. A couple of things that won't be in here all the time. We will see each newsletter. So you'll see February. There's the President's Day. I do want to call your attention, though. I'm gonna go ahead just a little bit. I won't provide the 12-month constant contact performance every month, because that's just not.
Okay,
It's not necessary. Net new contacts went up by 272. But what I want to draw your attention to is the line graph, which shows the 12-month performance.
mhm,
This is very interesting. The top graph on that one is the open rate. The orange line on the open rate is the average industry
mhm,
open rate, and you'll see we are above average on our open rate,
yeah,
as well as clicks. We're slightly above average on the open rate. There's only the ones that are actually like right on par with the average industry click rate, or just more special newsletters that went out as opposed to the monthly. So our monthly is at least getting some more click rates. We're gonna be playing around maybe with like the subject line to see if that maybe entices people more. So we're gonna, look at it. But I thought it was very interesting. It was really nice to see that we're actually above.
Yeah.
You know, but when it comes to the closures, they don't need to open it or flip it, you know, that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
That's-
that's
yeah.
what you wanna get across
Yeah.
to the people is, you want that in the subject line. You
Yeah.
don't want them to have to click to find out
Yeah.
that you closed it new the other day.
Right.
Yeah,
I would want to get those little kids out.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, a lot of times you're right, all you want them to see is contained in the message or the subject line.
So those are the ones that were closures, so that's. Don't really compare those.
And then Wi-Fi use, internet use, much more Wi-Fi usage than computer usage.
So those are unique, like on a particular day. And so,
That's it for the partnership.
Can I ask, since we're all making an effort to be more involved in the community, that I don't know how far your calendar goes out, but if you could like add a section like, this is what I've got coming up.
Coming up.
And then we could say, oh, hey, I can cover that meeting. I can help you with that
Great.
kind of thing. And especially if you're looking for support, for sure,
Wonderful.
kind of, make that one pink or whatever, but that way we can be more engaged instead of reading in the director's report that, hey, I went and did X, Y, Z. And it was like, oh, I would have found that interesting. I would have found that. So that way there's a little more forward communication on that. Is that
Great idea.
hard for you to do or?
Easy to do.
Okay.
In fact, while you're at it, related to that question I asked you about the Google Gmail account,
Yes.
which I'll talk to in a second. You could also set calendar appointments and make us optional. Things that you need support with or help with. So if there's an event that you've got coming up, put it on the calendar, invite us as optional. Put some notes in the field about
Nice.
what it is, what's going on, whether or not we need to be there or might want to be there.
Yeah, good.
It's a good way to.
Looking for one other.
For me, my calendar runs my day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're telling me. Yeah,
okay.
that's a great idea.
And related to that, just so you all know what I mentioned to April in an email was the account in Gmail right now won't let me share it won't let any of us share our calendar to Outlook. So I use Outlook on the work computer and on my phone. So you can go and visit it through Gmail, go to Google Calendar and sign in that way. But if by enabling one feature that's in there, it would allow us to basically be able to share it to our Outlook calendar where it's view only, but you would still see it if you open up Outlook. So which is why I use that for work and for personal. So it's just something I had to look into and see if
Okay.
it could be enabled. It's just, it's disabled by default. But like
Right.
on my personal account, I enabled it immediately so I could share my own personal account to my work email. So it doesn't allow you to change anything from that other email address. It just allows you to see it
So we're,
in one application.
Right.
I think today we're sharing free busy and that's it.
Could be.
But no detail. So
Yeah,
you
good.
can't say, oh, there's something on the library calendar, but I can't tell what it is.
Yeah, it was more with relation to the personal email address calendars.
Yeah.
Like the email I sent out about tonight's meeting, for example.
Right,
saw that.
you're right. I could not share that to my Outlook email.
Right. So, but it's a simple tweak on from Google admin and shouldn't have any security implications. So if you can figure it out, that'd be great.
Well, how did
It does.
Jake do that when he sent out the last meeting notices?
It went to our internal emails. So
So it didn't have your personal.
or if he included you as the external as a invitation,
That's
then
awesome.
you'd get it.
Oh,
your
you know what?
external.
I think I shared my White Lake Township Library calendar, my personal account with my other Gmail account.
You may well have. You can do it the other way.
So that I can see all my calendar.
You can do it right now. You can do it the other way, but not the
Yeah.
way that I was suggesting. So yeah, I can share my Gmail calendar to my White Lake Gmail calendar. but I can't do the opposite.
Okay. So I have a couple more questions too, April, for your, this, can we talk about this night lock?
It's on.
Oh, that's on the
it's
agenda.
later on.
Oh, done. Okay, I'll leave that now, because I want to ask you about that. Also, thanks to Heather for going for this privacy audit. I took that as well. I thought it was really interesting. It's mostly about data. It's about data auditing, data here that we own in the library, and it's also about our patron data. So I don't know what she had that she took back out of that. I thought it was a really good niche webinar, and it was only like an hour long, and it was information. It was very informational, and it had 3 or 4 different libraries that actually have detailed how they did their privacy on it, you know, so it's public knowledge. And I don't know what our data privacy policy is. Do we have a written data privacy policy?
I'm looking at the policies right now, and we're gonna see what we've got.
Okay, because I'm
Because
not sure
it's
we
not a
actually.
full- we have something, but it does not address a full
Right.
amount.
So I think that
It's not
as we go through the strategic planning, it's something we need to look at. Well, and one of the things that I've been looking at this is, I think it's really important that we make sure that we don't violate any federal laws with sharing patron data. Because one of the things that I didn't know until I started really looking at this was, you know, I started thinking about the kids, and yes, there is a COPA law that, you know, it's the Child Online Protection Privacy Act. And any child under the age of 13, we're not allowed to share their data online at all. So, you know, those are the kind of things that we need to probably say in a data policy, especially about privacy, you know, for children. Is we probably need to say that, you know, we are adhering to COPA. So,
Exactly.
so I don't know what Heather got out of it, but I'm glad that she took it so that we can move forward with that. And it should be part of our new strategic plan.
Okay.
Especially in regards to social media and things on the website. It's gonna be very important.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
sounds good. All right. We want to move on to committee reports. Do we have anything? Is there a certain person that always reports for the committee, or is it just whoever's here, or?
It's usually whoever's here, whoever, you know, like I sort of lead the finance report with the finance committee with April, because I'm the treasurer. So I usually talk about finance.
Okay,
committee, but if I'm not here, then I would expect you or Jake to do that.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's do this. Should we do this first? April?
Do you want me to start on the first half of it and then just cover it?
Please, yeah.
So this is the addendum 1 that was originally part of the EFTC approved vendors list. And just in going back when we found that MERS needed to be up to 2,500, I just wanted to take a look at the policy as it was in our books as compared to what was sent to the bank. And make sure all was good, and there were some tweaks, and also wanted to change some of the verbiage up on top. So you'll see that right now, rather than expected frequency, we just have frequency. Instead of range, we're having top amount. There's no need to really have a range. We
Yeah,
just know
that's
that
true.
it's a top amount. So you'll see that some of those have been updated and changed. For some reason, there was a couple of plus signs, so those are being taken out. Kind of got more information on basic to make sure that it showed that it was administrative services as well as planned funding, and so that was added in there to show that. And so those are some of the changes there. And then lastly, we did discuss last month about adding in a statement. So you'll see that in red in the back there, in the case of an overage, so like just like we had with MERS, something like this happens again. A board trustee granted signature authority may approve a one-time exception. If the EFTASH will continue to be more monies than listed in the approved vendor list, the board will approve the increase in the subsequent board meeting. So what we bring before you tonight is to see what you think of these changes, especially that statement.
And that statement, Rich, just goes back to what you were talking
Yeah.
about last month.
Yeah, because. You know, there needs to be a way to go, wait a minute, you know, if it's a case of, especially if it's a case of, you know, it's $5 over or.
Right.
You know, it was there, I would say. So by saying it one time,
Well, that would kind of alert you to the need that maybe we need to. look
yeah,
at it.
but if we
Yeah.
say, well, maybe if we decide maybe not, then 2 months later, we need to do it again, now it's the second time, and is that, you know, so I would,
Well, that's why we
Or-
made the comment about that needs to be approved in the next board meeting.
right, so let's say we had something, it's like, oh, it was, you know, it was an extra $5. Beyond what we expected, but that's a one-time occurrence, it's not gonna happen again. 2 months later, it happens again. And so we've already done the one time.
Yeah.
So the word that,
So then we look at it.
yeah, so, you know, so yes, we should, you know, we shouldn't let it go, you know, every month get a one-time approval. But I think that the phrase one time is a limit that might be too strict. So in other words, if we can only be one time, that would be anytime you go over, you would have to come up the next month and say, we need to increase this by
X amount of dollars.
by
But
X number of dollars.
my question is, how close are these numbers? Are they how close are they to the average? Are they the average plus 10? Is this
No,
the
they're the
highest I
top.
ever paid?
To the top.
They're at the top, there's, it's not,
So does there need to be a 10% added to each one of
I
them?
think that was already.
For some
That's
kind
already
of,
been done.
okay, for some kind of variability?
Last year, we made sure that we were, like, if it was, you know, something that might be $1,320, we all.
Uh-huh.
it-
Did you put like 15 or?
Yeah, something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Okay.
exactly what April did, but we made sure that there was a cushion.
That was just my question.
Yes,
It's like, how
absolutely.
often is that gonna happen?
Because we hope that it doesn't, right?
Right, and you don't wanna be
So-
so hhigh that it never tells you
Oh, for sure.
anything,
Yeah.
right?
For
So,
Like
okay,
the
if
one
you're
that we
happy
caught
with
this
those
month,
numbers, I'm
you know,
fine.
that was actually an error by
yeah,
Basic or whoever it
Let's
was,
face it,
right?
yeah.
You know, it was a significant amount over,
uh-huh,
and that's, you know, how we came across that.
okay.
Right, and I mean, the bank really does, you know, they've got it automated, and so if we go over that number. You know, they're gonna alert us. The problem is that when they alert us, they don't alert, like, I think we got the alert at 10 o'clock in the morning, we had to 1 o'clock in the afternoon to make that.
It's not very long, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's,
Yeah,
No, it's not very.
so all that does is reject the check, right? It doesn't get
It
paid.
rejects the ACH, it
Okay.
absolutely rejects the
Well, yeah,
ACH,
the
so.
payment gets rejected, then.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
we have to follow up with a hard check then, or
We have to ask them to resubmit it.
ask them?
Ask whoever the
vendor.
ACH person, whoever sent it, you know,
Uh-huh.
tried to withdraw the money.
Uh-huh,
We have to actually then go to the bank.
The vendor.
say- The vendor,
okay,
but we have to go to the bank and say, okay, we're gonna approve this to be increased. That's why I had you sign that form the other day.
Mhm.
So we have to do that sign where we have 2 signatures
okay.
for the bank to allow it to be more than that in the future.
Mhm.
And then that has to be also taken back to a board meeting to be
Okay.
approved for that difference,
I got you.
for that overage.
Okay.
So, I see what Rich is saying,
Mhm.
but if we're hitting that number, Rich, you know, if we're hitting that top number. We probably could add that, like Jen is saying, to that next board meeting and perhaps add that 10%.
so I'm saying. Perhaps with, and if you're saying, and what we're actually saying is, we would have to add that. Because we're only allowing one exception.
For sure.
Is it just one exception and then the board has to review? Or is it one exception and then you have to change it? How do you read that?
I read it as. That you have one time, and if the. The board will approve an increase, but if the board doesn't approve an increase, you know, that the one time is used.
Okay, that's not how I was looking at it though. The way I looked at it was, a one-time exception means that at this moment you are making that exception. But then the next thing says, if it continues, which would mean maybe after 2 or 3 times,
will continue, it says will continue.
Yeah,
that conti-
if it will continue.
Uh-huh.
So will continue doesn't mean that there's, like, it could be a one-time exception in February. And then something could happen in June. So it wouldn't be until after June that, are we always up to the top, or do we want to make one-time exceptions for this particular bill each and every time that they.
So I would be okay with it striking the word one time.
Okay, and I understand that, but how do you want to reword that? Because you don't want to say, well. every
May
exception this month, this is
approve-
Exception, that's.
No, no, I'm saying may approve an exception,
But that's
and then-
nebulous.
and then, if, and then leave the rest of it, you know, if the A,
Yeah.
if it will continue to be the listed approved vendor, the board will or would, or,
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Good.
I have issue with that word will there and. Going to approve it no matter what.
yeah, yeah,
So, I mean, May is.
May.
I just think
Well,
it
it's
needs
gonna
to
have to be
basically
will.
say,
Yeah,
well, it's gonna,
based
I think
on-
it just needs to say that the board needs to take action.
Yeah.
Whether that action is approval, changing, or denying.
right.
Yeah, but the
Because
board needs to
because
take,
it-
just
our
you leave it open
ACHs
like that.
are only really around payroll,
Uh-huh.
and we're gonna, we have to take action, and the bank's gonna continue to reject it.
Sure.
Mhm. So you gotta do something.
yeah.
Right, so,
So-
so I don't see where we would say, the board may approve something, because if we don't, then we're just gonna, we're gonna come across that issue again the following month, if that number is gonna continue to be higher than what we've got approved.
So if the first one, if the first one gets approved, I think it needs to come to the board at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Not wait till the second one, because then you've already used the first one, and I
Yeah.
understand that, so.
So-
It needs to come to the board
But
as
like
part
with-
of
with
the
payroll-
treasurer's review or whatever that we had.
But if it's part of payroll, you could have two before, 2 or 3
Before a board meeting,
before board meeting, so.
yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think either way, it should come to the board the next.
For review.
time.
Mhm.
Right, because the whole board should hear that.
Yeah,
But what Rich is saying, and there's a point there, so like we hired a new tax services person, right? So say you hired 2 more people this month. Their salaries actually, and then our salary cap on that ACH went up beyond what we have today. Because we have this top for, where is it? For direct deposit. Right?
Payroll taxes. Yeah.
No, at the very bottom, payroll. Rate. So we say we hired 3 more people this month, and so Rich has actually got a very valid point, and it goes more than $30,000 a withdrawal, ACH withdrawal. And we have 2 pay periods in that time before we meet again. Right?
Right.
I mean, it's not gonna happen often, but
Yeah.
I see Rich's point. It could
Yeah,
really
yeah.
gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
so, yeah, by striking one time.
Okay.
Even, or making occasion, or may approve an occasional exception, or something like, but just may approve an exception. But there should be, but to Jen's
Yeah.
point, there should be then a review. Of a review and a decision, to change or not change.
Well, if we reported every one of them. In the treasurer's report, every meeting. Then we at that time could discuss.
Yeah.
What do we do with that?
So some sort of sentence, maybe the sentence in between that, something stating to the effect of, each exception should be brought to
The next.
board meeting
Mhm.
for review.
Mhm. I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's all you need, because
Yeah.
then, we're gonna either say, oh, yeah, let's do this, oh, yeah, let's increase it, or no, we're not gonna do this, so let's investigate.
Well, that's the issue that I have with the word will at the end, is that, my question is, do we ever not approve? The increase,
Sure,
so will approve sort of implies.
Yeah.
that we're going to
like
say
this,
yes to it.
like this one with basic, where the, we could, if we had approved it. but it was wrong, then, we won't approve it, There, so yeah, I agree that will is not the right, I think the operative word is will review.
It just
versus-
reviewed that. we'll
Yeah.
review it.
Yeah,
Okay, why don't we say we'll review?
Mhm.
All right.
and I like
Actually,
the
put
idea
us on the
that,
line to have to approve something if we don't want to.
Yeah,
that's part of the treasurer report,
I would think so.
Yeah.
Because you're presenting the bills.
Right,
Yeah.
I can put it in the treasurer's report if we
Yeah.
have to,
If you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So remove one time, make it an exception.
an exception, and then the board will review the increase in subsequent board meeting. Okay.
Yeah, because then it's not saying how we voted, that we have.
Right.
Yeah,
voted
we
check.
do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
And then on your front page, should they be compromised and that's
thank you.
Not minutes.
I think, yes,
Maximum.
I like that much better, thank you.
I didn't understand.
Well, what
Yes.
is it on the form for the,
For the line, for
is
the,
it limit?
I think it's limit, I think it's something like that, it's,
Maximum limit?
but,
Maximum and limited are done it.
Yeah.
well, maximum amount of funding is.
Maximum amount.
Because, you have normal amount range, so it should be maximum.
Maximum approved for amount?
I thought it should, top amount.
Maximum
Gotcha.
approved.
Just
Well,
maximum.
but we know it's already approved,
Yeah.
it has to be approved,
Yeah.
it has to be signed by two board members for the,
Wouldn't the
For the
word
bank.
limit just imply that's it? Never mind.
Approved. Oh,
I
yeah,
don't need to
approved
talk
limit,
about
yeah.
And as of right now, the utilities are not being ACH'd right now.
This is
So
just a suggestion on them?
that was when we originally put it
Yeah,
together.
we plan
it was-
doing those.
Utilities were approved to move forward. I did not move forward them.
So the top five?
Yes. Yes. AT&T consumers, DTE, water, and
So-
Oakland County, yeah,
Okay.
county, yeah.
So
All the rest of them are in ACH today and approved through.
So before I add any more of these, I will be going back to double check these maximum amounts to make sure
Okay.
that they are still good. If they're not good, then I would obviously come back
Okay.
and let you know.
Is
Right.
the vendor name payroll for payroll?
That's just a general name. I can find you on specific.
I think, yeah, sure, I think it,
I don't remember what the name, whatever the name is, that we have at the bank. Has to have a specific name.
yeah,
Well, actually, it's done by, number. It's done by their ACH number and their bank, ACH code,
yeah, no, that's what's on the EFT,
right.
but there's also a name, a place there for the name of it, I think, but I just think that it's easier to manage if these match up. I mean, it makes sense payroll, but
Let me see.
Does anybody have something I can write with?
I do.
My pencil is out of lead. You? Was it shorter?
Well,
class?
actually, it's not even this, it's not in this, it's not in our cash report, our,
I looked
check
through the
detail,
checking
yeah,
thing
it's
and
not
I
in
didn't
there.
see it.
no.
that's a check
This is-
detail head.
Does it still?
ACH.
Or not?
There's MERS, there's basic, then have MERS, but it doesn't have, this
Yeah, I don't
does
see
not include payroll.
Yeah.
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 But I don't remember what it's called.
Can I ask if the next finance committee meeting is next Wednesday? Is it the 8th?
We're working on changing that date. I'm still
Okay.
waiting to hear that.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember that was the one that I had to change and.
Yes, we did say that. It's scheduled for the 8th.
I think I still need to hear from Jade.
Okay. Okay,
I'll look into that.
okay, so are we done with the ACH approved vendor list?
I think so.
So I see,
Do
yeah,
we need to vote on this,
Verbiage.
yes.
Can I get a motion for someone to approve?
So I raise a motion to approve the updated, addendum 1, EFT ACH approved vendor list. To,
Are you going
change
to
the
give?
vendor normal amount range to maximum amount. And to change and to add a sentence at the end. Talking regarding an exception if we need to approve an ACH overage.
well, the,
This is on the back here.
It's on the back.
Yeah, in case of overage, a board trustee granted signature authority may approve
And
an
exception.
exception.
If the EFT ACH will continue to be more monies than listed in the approved vendor list, the board will review the increase in a subsequent board meeting.
Okay, and I would just get rid of the word will if that was your point, Eric?
well.
No, I think we'll review.
Okay, no, oh, I meant if the EFT ACH continues to be more monies, that will continue. Is that,
No, I think we'll continue there is fine.
that's fine, okay,
I think
had
the
a note
intent,
written
the
there.
intent still sits there.
okay. Okay, doke. So who's approving that? Did you
I
make
made
a
the
motion? Who's
Seconded,
approving?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, how many?
All right,
votes?
Aye.
Okay, so the 4 yes votes.
Yes,
All right, so the second thing I need to do for the finance committee, and hopefully this will be short. I did this last week and then I reviewed the checking account again. So last week, so in February, we had originally taken in $390,000 in tax revenue. As of this morning, we've taken in $420,000 in tax
Oh, even
revenue.
more, okay.
Okay, we took in more, we took another almost $30,000. So, our balance in our checking account is like $667,000, which is way more than what we need at this moment. And so, but we do want to keep a buffer in there of about 3 months of banking. And, right now, we can look at this in the future that maybe our tax money comes into a different account. But right now it's going into that checking account at Flagstar. So I'm making the recommendation. I went out and did some investigation on what short-term CDs are at the moment. And I looked at Genesis and Lakes and Bank of America. Because I was only looking at a 7-month maximum for a CD. For $225,000. So, and we don't need that money in the checking account. We can make some interest on that at that time frame. I didn't want to make it out to a year, so we couldn't use PNC because their CDs are only a year. Flagstar, we have more than what we. If you look at page the finance report, the second page is I'm sorry. That's not the right page.
yeah, second
Yeah,
page.
that second page is all our CDs at the moment. So we have maturity dates for some of our CDs coming in April, May, and June and July. So I'm making a recommendation that with agreement of the finance committee that we put another $225,000 CD together, that, and we use Genesis. They have the highest interest rate for a 7-month CD at 4.06. So we would, we'd invest that this week and it would come due the first week of October.
So even though the actual rate's a little bit lower than Lakes, because Lakes is only 6 months, that's what the difference is there?
The new rate, yeah, so, right, so if you see, I don't know, did everybody get a copy of this?
Yes,
Okay, so if you see, if we only do 6 months,
Mhm.
we'll only make $4,600. Okay, but if we
Right.
do 7 month with Genesis, we make $5,300.
Okay, but like taking it, turning it at 6 months is, there's no advantage to that?
No,
Okay,
No,
because we're
no.
gonna use that money within the next 6 months, so that's why you wouldn't invest it again.
no, we may invest it again. This is a 7 month, Genesis was a 7 month CD.
Yeah, my point was, a 6 month CD, you get your money back sooner and can
We don't
reinvest
need
it.
it.
Okay,
We won't need it at that point. That's why I'm saying, because we have all these other,
Oh, you
we have all these other CDs that are rolling off.
I think your point though is that
my
4.1 is higher than 4.06.
yes,
Yes.
Right.
and that if the money becomes available a month earlier, you can reinvest it a month earlier. If that's all my point was.
I mean, we could do that. I just thought it would.
It doesn't, it's
You
a
know, when
month,
I was
you
looking
know,
at
it's a
too,
month,
yeah, I'm looking at, all right,
uh-huh,
it's hard to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
This is a month, you know,
it's about $700.
it's about $700.
Yeah.
Right, right,
Okay.
that we're gonna make. We're not, and we have other ones that we're gonna be, well, actually, come that time, we don't, so, I just looked at that, you know what, this is probably the easiest way to go.
That's fine. I
Um,
was just curious. When I
That's
saw
why I
the
looked
different
at it.
numbers, at
No.
first I thought, well, why are those so different? And then I saw, oh, the months were different.
the months are different,
So
right,
I got you.
right,
It's okay. I just was asking.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I'm looking at it and thinking, okay, there's likelihood we might need that money at the end of the month
Mhm.
at that time,
Yeah,
but.
okay. All right.
But if you want to do 6 months and we turn it over in, we'd have to make that decision in August instead of September.
Mhm.
I don't really care which way we do it.
I don't either. I was just asking if there was an advantage to turning it a month earlier or not.
I don't know, because we don't know what interest rates are gonna be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So because we don't know what interest rates are gonna be, and I thought, okay, we're talking about 0.04% of an
Mhm.
interest rate, and we just.
Yeah.
for now.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Genesis sounds good to me.
So, see, in terms of, so, and we don't, so we have a Genesis coming due
In November.
in November at 100,000. And so I'm just thinking, what's our cash?
All of these CDs will be that's the last one.
Right, right. I'm just trying to think in terms of. Well, we've got one, two, yeah.
Where's this chart?
So we've got 300,000 coming due
The second page.
in July, the beginning of July, basically.
No, turn it over. No, it's on the finance report.
Oh.
It's on the second page of the finance report, is all the CDs.
I looked for it back, sorry.
Go ahead, Rich, I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to think about it in terms of cash flow. Do we with what we have? So we've got others though that are we've got Lake Michigan that's coming up in
Yeah, and if you
Yeah.
look, Rich,
Yeah.
in July, in June, we have $500,000 that's coming up.
beginning, yeah.
That
Right,
comes up
right.
in Okay, so we're averaging about 143,000 a
Okay.
month in expenditures, okay? So,
So with that 500,000, we're good for October, this be October 1st. Or yeah, so we should be good.
yes, and if we stay within our budget for this year. This one that's coming due in the Flagstar one, that is the 9 month term that comes due in July. And then with this new Genesis one, that
Yeah.
would come due in October, and then the Genesis.
I
one that
was
would due
looking in
November.
I was looking in the right hand most column, which didn't have the 500,000 in there. It's
Okay,
there, so which is, that's what's, I'm looking at,
This-
looking at those numbers, and there was like, well, wait, we're not-
These are our balances as of January 31st, okay?
right. So the balance really on Flagstar,
We
didn't have that then, got it.
Right, we don't have those balances that we,
It was not a balance then,
right,
okay,
okay? So,
okay, yeah, I'm good with
So what my point too, Rich, is that, yes, we want to make sure we have the cash, right?
Yeah,
So, July, the Flagstar one in July, the Genesis one that I'm proposing for, October. The Genesis one that, would come due in November. Those monies, most likely, would be renewed monies. That's what, when I started doing these CDs and, trying to take advantage of these interest rates, that's how much money we were sitting idle.
yeah,
That we really should be able to, and not really be used in the budget for this year.
Mhm.
We should be able to take the majority of that money and reinvest it.
so do we need a
That is
motion?
our, that should be a goal of ours, is to take the majority of that and reinvest it.
Okay,
And they're coming due just about
Yeah.
every month, so.
Yeah.
Right,
whatever-
Right, that's why we laddered them.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, and I did this with help from Joe.
Okay.
So, and April.
So do we need a motion to,
So, and I really don't have a preference if we do the 6 month or the 7 month.
I don't either. I mean,
I was
do we
just-
do we have something coming due in July? Yes.
Yeah.
There's two,
yeah,
so you might as well do September, because there's nothing between July and.
Well, this one would, Genesis, the one I recommended for Genesis would come due in October. And Lakes, when, if we did the 6 month with Lakes, it'd be September.
Okay,
yeah, I think we, let's go with, I would agree, let's go with Genesis
okay.
there, so I can make a motion.
Right.
To invest. $225,000. In a Genesis 7 month. CD.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Karen.
Rich. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
4 yes votes. Okay,
Thank you very much.
all righty.
And the finance committee is over. And I know it takes more time than it used to, because, we're doing these investments.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we have to get them approved so we can make some money on it.
Yes, ma'am.
So and I'll have to go back and look, but with what we're investing this year, it just in CDs, not just what we've done with Flagstar for our banking, but we should make well over $20,000.
I know, I was just adding all those up.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
We should help.
That's
her a lot
tiling a
more.
bathroom. You know,
Yeah,
With some kind of
actually, I
new
was thinking
project.
about this and what we're doing, and I think I was talking to Amy about it, and Amy mentioned this. What we're doing is, we're funding the strategic committee, the vendor that we're using.
Yeah,
With
basically with
the
the interest,
interest,
yeah,
yes,
that's a good.
because I
point.
don't think we put this interest in our budget, did we?
We put some, I don't think I think we're gonna go over with these kind of good investments.
Mhm.
Oh, definitely, I think so, because the interest rates are so much better than when we started this, but it really is, funding
Mhm.
that will help with our
That's cool.
vendor for strategic plans. Yeah.
All right,
Okay, thank you.
so April, do you want to lead the strategic planning committee?
I can put those spots, yeah.
Okay.
So we signed with Library Strategy. And we are, our board committee is doing well. We're gonna be meeting tomorrow. And so we have received their data analysis wish list, and I have sent them all 10 items on that as of yesterday. So it includes things they wanted to see, like CERC numbers, trends for the past 3 to 5 years, program attendance, all like some of the stuff that I show you each month. So a lot of that information on our community partnerships, past strategic plans, as well as annual reports, staffing data, board trustee structure and governance, some information from the Friends. They wrote up a really nice how they fund, how they help the library. So they wrote up a huge thing for us. I was able to send that as well as samples of our PR and marketing. So all of that has been sent to them. They were excited to get that and said that hopefully they'll look at that, maybe in a couple days. Because it was an awful lot of information. One thing I did not send them yet, because I kind of want to get into it before I see, is the demographics from like the township. So is there a need to share some of the things from what they're doing? And I thought, you know what, let's hold off on that just a little bit until we find out what we need to do with that. So we are on our way, as Jen mentioned. So our board committee is meeting weekly. Tomorrow when we meet, we'll finalize who's going to be on the steering committee. Each of us has provided names.
I don't think we're at a point to finalize, but,
Well, we're gonna like at least try to figure out who we don't need.
okay.
Because we've got it divided up into steering committee and maybe ones that we might want to invite to, say, a focus group.
Okay.
So hopefully we can get that narrowed down, and then that would be our next step, if you see Liz.
How many people will be on your steering committee?
Like a dozen to 18 at most.
Okay.
The less, the better. You know, because it's just easier to come to consensus, so.
So that would be our next step, and then the week after next, we'll meet with them and probably start to talk about dates for getting that first steering committee together, as well as possible survey questions that we can start for our survey and start to get that down. So that's where we're at.
So who kind of people are on the steering committee?
Well, I would just wanted to say during this portion that, you know, I am more than happy to take more names or ideas of groups of people. But like, we're thinking about Liz for the township. We're thinking about either somebody that was in Parks and Recs.
Okay.
Because of the paths and the trails and all that, although some of that seems like it's coming from the township, so I wanted to ask Liz more about that. But like, you know, fire and police, if they wanna, you know, help, they're welcome to. The steering committee is only 2 meetings. It is a kickoff meeting to make sure we've included everybody in the community. And then it's a review meeting of the final plan before it gets presented to the board. So that's all they're doing, is that they're just providing information through their scope or their bubble of influence. And we're just trying to catch everybody
Okay.
as we do that.
Because I haven't done
So,
this before.
yeah, so like people from the business world.
I was wondering about the schools.
Not just public school, but also private schools and homeschool. And then
I
you took it,
I
okay,
took it, yeah.
that's all right. Oh, you got next one? I'm sorry, my throat just got dry. That would be good too. Thank you. You know, and like people who like maybe in the arts or people who are, you know, that kind of stuff.
Overshot.
Yeah, maybe people who have businesses that might use our facility, like a karate school or a dance school or whatever, either for programming or, you know, to do something as a group, you know, anything like that. So we're looking for ideas of what kinds of people, what, you know, type of business or whatever. And also, if you've got a good name of someone who you think would want to be involved, it's about a 4-hour, 5-hour commitment.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to keep it to. So, and they're more than welcome to participate in, you know, focus groups or a community group, or however we decide to collect information from real life people as opposed to a survey. Well, there'll be some portion of it that will be that way. And so we're looking for people to participate in the steering committee and also to participate in the data gathering. So we're going to reach out to all the people we interviewed for the board position
Okay, great.
and try to leverage their interest in that too. So.
Would include like local agents, people from local agencies, as
Like
well.
the community, like the
Community
community
coalition,
stuff that
youth
some people
assistance,
volunteer for or
this,
need room for.
historical.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
society.
The fiscal.
Okay.
So,
So you are gonna, in education across the board, whether it's.
yeah. But if you guys want to just jot down any ideas you have before you leave tonight or send me a text, we'll make sure that it gets looked at, because that's what tomorrow's meeting is to try to nail that down so we can nail down a kickoff meeting. And I just don't have names for a lot of the areas I've been thinking
For
about.
the schools, I already have the principals, including St. Pat's and the public, some of the public ones.
Yeah.
And what do we do about homeschool? Because I think that's a good point.
Homeschool, I have a connection with the Friends, so they're gonna be doing that Friends program, in a couple months, so.
Are they working with like a homeschool coalition, do you know?
It's some sort of homeschool.
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
There's a parent that's a homeschool parent that is here all the time.
Yeah, so get her information, we'll make sure she's in the focus groups, or at least
I'm not
invited.
sure how. I just know that they spend a tremendous amount of time here and they're very, very active in the library, so they would be really good here, a good group to come in books.
And they might be on the list, their, the staff did give me some patron names.
Okay.
Oh, good.
As well as local business names as well,
Mhm.
so. We're just collecting names in general too, because I mean, we want to get a lot for focus groups, and I think the idea is that. At least I'd like to ask, you know, hey, we'd like to invite you, but can you also invite 2 neighbors or 2 people you know in the community that don't use this? 'Cause that's really the meat I want to get at, is the people that aren't using us. That's great, you use this, we want to hear from you definitely, but I want to know why aren't you coming and how can we get you here?
Okay, good point. For those focus groups, okay.
And the timing for that is like mid-May to end of June, kind of, if I remember right,
Okay.
when we'd be doing that kind of work. We have a little chart, but it's kind of high level right now.
Sorry. Makes us feel bigger.
Yeah, it is, because we have more detail.
Yeah.
to-
We get a bigger printer.
Well, this, doing this kind of strategic planning, very new to me, so.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Okay, yeah.
anything else? Okay, that's, because we're really like in a kickoff stage still,
Yeah.
and they were really supposed to be busy till like mid-March, I thought. So I thought we weren't gonna get into more serious planning until mid-March, but we'll see. Yeah. All right,
I just wanted to get that off my plate.
Yeah.
Here.
Yep.
okay. So policy committee?
Yeah, so policy committee, staff policy committee has met. We've reviewed, we got through a few of the first policies. And so right now, I'm just at the point of Heather and I will be working together to put those in a format that are redlined, and we'll be able to bring to the board policy committee. So I probably won't get to board policy committee until maybe late March-ish.
Can you, would you, because I'm confused, can you make some kind of table that just lists all the policies that you're thinking about for the next year? And then just like, you know,
It's,
if
I
they're.
think she's planning on reviewing all of that.
it's all, we're starting to
Just
stay
everything.
both in like one.
Well, can you just put your order in there so I can remember what was.
Contents for the policies.
We have a table of contents, and literally it's just,
You're just going right down. the line.
yeah, I would just be giving you the
Yeah.
table of contents.
That's
Can-
all right.
Can you
Actually,
do that for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I just check off which ones we've done or what's in process.
Yeah,
Some might take longer than others.
Policy committee, me,
Jake.
it was the 2 of us, I couldn't remember.
That would be helpful.
because I think we had a question of, do we have a
Do we have a data,
Do
do
we
we
have
have
a-
a private privacy policy?
policy?
Data policy.
And so it would be, okay, it doesn't show up on the list, so,
Right.
so there's,
Then we don't have.
then we don't have one, yeah.
What the staff is doing is we're looking at 3 other library, right now we're doing the handbook. So 3 directors graciously gave me their handbook so that staff can look and compare. Oh,
Oh, that's a
we don't
great
have that,
idea.
or
Yeah.
Yours says something different, or do we want it to say that, or how is ours? Is it good? Is it not? And as things come up, which there are a couple of things that have come up recently where it's like, we don't have a policy for that. Oh, okay, let's remember that. We want to add that in. And that's more public right now on handbook, so.
I think it's been at least 10 years since we've kind of went.
Well, and it was funny, you say that because I reached out to a friend who's a director and she said, oh, well, I'm happy to give it to you, but we're about to review ours too. It's been quite a while.
Well, it's like the finance policy. Our finance policy was probably more than 15 years
Yeah.
old.
So it's gonna be a slow process, but that's okay. We're just gonna get through it.
Yeah.
I'll get to setting
Okay.
soon.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the table of contents of the handbook and the policy.
that would be great.
And then,
Well, there's, because there are personnel policies we have the public. Manual,
That
So-
would be for a while.
yeah, so that's another set of,
Yeah,
of policies.
it takes time. We get
Yeah.
together for about an hour and
But-
we're really in discussion, so.
But a lot of this hasn't been updated since Larry was here, because with the building and the changeover and everything, that's, a lot of those things haven't been touched in a while, unless they've been newer things. Usually it's
Yeah,
something
we-
comes up, it doesn't answer it in the policy, so we go change it. That's
Yeah.
usually the,
Yeah, we haven't taken a step back
yeah,
on
yeah.
a lot of the stuff in
Mhm.
10 years
yeah,
or
we
maybe
haven't been
longer.
planning, we've been reacting,
Yeah.
so
So by the time I get into
Good rafting, you
the
said?
board.
reacting.
We,
I
oh,
want to be like.
I was picturing,
Yes,
I like
no, what do
the
you
idea,
do?
we're rafting, we're
Getting
just like,
over the-
yeah. We just get
Yeah,
through the rapids.
exactly. All right,
Yeah, so
So-
that's policy.
do you wanna show us your night locks?
Yeah, so if you take a look at that, so back in the fall, before in service day. We had a local officer who came and did a talk. He also was gracious enough to do a walkthrough, kind of look at our building. And give us some honest insight. And so one of the things we mentioned was. These night lock systems are being installed in a lot of buildings, especially in the school, but. We noticed about 6 to 8 doors where it would be. Good for us to have. So basically what happens is you'll see there what the hand is dropping into the locking system there. Which goes into the floor and onto the door. That little lock goes into a little clip area on the wall next to the door. So ideally, what, like I say over here, you would have it like next to the thermostat there. And you would just flip open, take the little L shape out, pop it down into the floor. If you go to this website, there's a video you can see, and it's impossible. Even with a crowbar, they could not make their way through that door. In our situation, we do have some rooms or doors, indoor doors, that either have full length windows next to them, windows in the doors, or windows in the whole door. So it's, at least having something like this would give staff maybe seconds to get to someplace that's better, or at least slow things down. Especially even in admin, where you have the full length window. Both of our doors have windows, so a little tough situation there, but something like this might help to slow things down a little
But
bit.
they could like go into your office and then stay low, and they
Right,
may not see a person in, and then the
Exactly.
main door. I don't know how breakable or unbreakable the side lights are,
Right,
but
so, and we do know statistically that it is a timing thing, so they're moving quicker. And this could make just that slight moment where they try something, doesn't, they can't do it, and they move on. So they're $75 a piece. 6 to 8 are requested, and I'd like to move on that. I'd like to get that installed. Our facilities department can install these themselves.
yeah,
And has looked at it and said that, yeah, easily they can do that without a problem.
okay. I don't know that it's something we have to approve because of the financial amount.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
you
I
know,
wanted to because we are drilling into the floor, so I just wanted to make you aware of that and to.
and if something gets screwed up on the first one, we've got carpet tiles to
We
do a redo.
Yep.
Okay.
And he's very good at what he does.
And I think it's important to express our support in a
Yeah.
public meeting like this, so that the public can see what we're doing to.
Do you
Protect
need a
people here.
motion or do you just, can we just?
Just, yeah, hey, that sounds good. Just, yeah, hey,
So
just
someone-
like that.
Someone make a motion to do that.
I motion that we support the installation of the night lockdown systems. And all the appropriate doors here at the library
I second
as soon
that.
as possible.
Eric and Rich. All in favor?
Aye.
Or yes, it was, I'm gonna get used to saying that sooner.
Yeah, you will, and then I'll change.
Okay. So, library board group email, did you get, have you received any communication in our group email?
Okay, so let me give you an update on that. This is why I put that on there. So if you haven't had a chance to visit the website, you did all get your pictures taken. You are all up there now. Great, the pictures turned out wonderful. And each of your emails is linked to your name, so it's a hyperlink. So
So you just
they
tap
can
it?
individually reach
They
out.
actually work. I did test it.
So it's really
I
nice.
did because somebody said, oh, I saw your picture on the white, like, oh, it's yours.
You did?
Okay, and then I saw that it said, email, I thought, I hope it's like, I would like. It's like, I clicked that, and then I clicked, and they do come up, and it comes up, and if you, and you got Outlook or whatever, it comes up.
Sure, yeah. So we're very excited about that. So no need now for a group one. So now that you're all
Oh,
up there. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that.
Okay,
no
so but they have to
first.
choose to pick somebody.
Right.
Okay.
My guess is they'll most likely choose president. Unless they have a question about finances
yeah.
or, whatever. So it is up there. Next step, just going beyond that, we're gonna start doing staff. So staff photos will be going up there on their homepage, friends as well.
Okay.
So we're working on all of that. That's an update to that. Okay.
So are you saying that the board email goes away?
Yes.
Okay, so we're not gonna have send to all board members.
And then as far as the tiling update goes, the tile we wanted got sold
Oh.
while they were waiting for our check.
Are you serious?
So we have not found a really great replacement. News to you, I asked Don to quote the current tile. Did he
Yes,
get to you with that?
Yes, because when I saw him the other day,
Mhm.
Don has gone all over.
I mean, above and beyond.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to
above and
find-
beyond, taking his kids, looking for tile.
Yeah.
Trying to nail down our.
I
tile.
went to Mr.
He went
Whatever
to,
tile room or whatever.
he went to Royal Oak, he went
Oh, wow.
to Sterling Heights.
I just went to Telegraph, but I did look there and I didn't see anything wonderful.
It's such
So,
a nice, it's
mhm,
such a nice brown, but
Yeah.
for some reason, so the tile is actually right there, I brought it in.
mhm.
If afterward you wanna traipse into the bathroom and do it,
You
But-
really need to.
you can get this like lickety split and get it done, so.
Mhm.
So then what's gonna happen to the tile that's there?
There is no tile there. We're tiling areas that
They have no.
that have no tile.
If you wanna go in afterward, I can
show
show you.
you.
I thought it was gonna be something else, though.
It's gonna match up to areas that are tiled, but
Right,
it's currently not tiled.
okay, that was my question.
Yeah.
What's this gonna look like when it matches up to that area that's already?
The only area that's next to it
We'll go look.
Okay.
is in the stall.
It's in the stall. Well, in the family bathroom, there's a bigger area, but the biggest place where they come together is in the rest of the handicap stall.
Okay,
Okay, the rest of the way as it comes around, it's not gonna match. When it comes around to match by the mirrors, it's a different tile. So it's not as important. It's a smaller, different,
Okay.
physically different
Okay.
tile. So it's just really that first
So a little
intersection.
purposeful.
Yeah, but so it's that first intersection. Do you want to wait 8 weeks to get the real tile? Or do we want to get this tile, which is a little less expensive? There's not a huge difference, but it was a timing issue.
And it's not, and it's not, we cannot get the same tile.
Oh, he didn't tell me that.
Yeah, he just said that to me the other day.
Okay, because I had asked, because when I talked to him last, it was, yes, I can get that. It's 8 weeks.
Yes, and then
Okay.
he told me, he said that, and then he actually had to turn his car around and
Mhm.
come back,
Mhm.
and he's like, no, I'm sorry, I can't.
Oh, okay,
It's literally, they're not making it.
okay, so we gotta find something.
Mhm.
Do you need the tile? Well, you don't need the tile. I have a tile in my car that I've been using to look at different tile places. So,
You should get with you into the bathrooms.
yeah.
Hold it up.
So, I mean, when it comes to matching colors and textures. My opinion is if it doesn't match, make it so it looks like it's not supposed to match. Do something different. Yeah, so, I've also been looking at things like that. So that way it's not like, oh, who did that? Or "Oh, that doesn't match at all.
yeah.
We just spent all that money and got crappy tile, so. It's, people won't like it if it's close. As opposed to, that's obviously supposed to be different, so.
So this is the one you think you're going.
Well, this is the best one we have so far. But I've got, I wanna go see Beaver Tile. I haven't gone out there yet.
That's really nice.
There's one that's like around that area, like 22 miles
Yeah, there's a
out
whole
there.
road.
There's
Yeah, that's, yes.
Indoplex Circle in Farmington. There's like 3 tile places.
Okay.
On that, like, they're like 200 feet from each other. There's like
Uh-huh.
3 of them. At Beaver Tile, I think it's one of them, Doll Tile,
It's your trade shirt.
The one you went to and.
by Director Lane. Yeah. I used to work on
What
that
is
street,
the-
Indoplex Drive, yeah,
Endoplex Drive.
Yep.
It's right near Drake Shore Lanes bowling.
which
no
got
idea what
renamed
that
to
is.
something else. Yeah, it has a different name last time.
Oh,
Okay, but that is Livonia, Farmington.
No, Farmington, just off of Grand
One
River
was the
and
city.
Drake.
I know where Grand River and Drake are.
Yep, it's the old Bob Sachs is, it's kind of like behind, it like runs from Drake around to Grand River.
Okay. I have tomorrow free between like 11 and 2. So I was going to try to drive around, yeah, the trees are Zoom. So I was gonna try to look around to what I could find. So thank you for the tip. All right. So we did cut the first check to Don so he could order the file. But we're withholding the completion. Okay. So, oh, we were going to talk about the balloons, Larry's thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
his business. It is now almost 9 o'clock. We want to do that now?
Do they expect an answer from us?
If they were willing to wait until October to install it. If I miss this friends meeting, I'm sure I can catch the next one. But I don't know. I don't know anything about DIA installation. Are they like, if you don't know things? Oh,
so, but I.
a long time ago or recently?
But does the DIA have to use
Does
that?
it have to be that?
Yes, the DIA is, that's done.
Yeah, it's already been set,
That's fine.
that's set. with-
There's a lot throughout the township. There's
Okay.
different places.
Okay.
And on these pictures, which one are they in front of?
Is it just that one that's the problem? The one at the front corner here?
It's just that one.
Okay, so
I'm not-
the issue is, Eric.
Yeah.
Do we want to just ask them to wait until October and use that position?
Which position are we talking about?
The.
One with the door on the right hand side,
Let me see,
item number 4, I can call it. on this list.
it is that one. So,
But if we do the number 1, there's no issue there, right?
oh wait, she's looking at the page here, hold on.
I mean, Rich made the comment about. Lawn mowing. And I don't,
Well, okay, so the issue with number 1 is. Do we want to move the benches? 1. Do we want to put it closer to the building? 2. Do we want to put it actually in the bed? 3. I'm like, there's a lot of different issues there. They need about the size of half of one of these tables or the whole length of one of these tables
Okay.
to actually. Put on top when they're done. with
and they
post going.
wanted to be able to use it as a photo. op.
And they have an idea that it'll be used as a photo op, so, here it might be okay. But we're gonna have to jack up some concrete to pour their pad, so, but
Well-
that's their cost.
I'm wondering where the one, you have the 2 benches, yes, you can move the 2 benches.
Mhm.
I don't think it should go in the bed, but
Yeah.
do you?
I mean, it could go right here between the 2 benches,
That's
where
what
they
I-
are.
Yeah, and
Then we'd have to take out some concrete when they pour their bed.
would they have to take out concrete,
Or can they drill?
couldn't they just drill in?
It was the picture she showed me, the concrete covers up the foot of the stake. That it's actually integral or integrated.
Yeah, it probably has like, it probably has a double leg so that it doesn't wobble or doesn't get pulled out easily.
But we can get that.
You might have a piece of rebar under the concrete to hold it from coming up,
Oh.
so then we can combine, just yank it.
Yeah,
Right.
so I can clarify that,
Okay.
but yeah, so I like that
I
spot.
like it in front.
But in the front, the only thing is people have to walk past quite a lot of grass to get to it.
You can't get, it doesn't, there's that sidewalk that goes right there.
There's a sidewalk and then. they've got
I mean, there's a
4 feet.
sidewalk, but it's like 6 to 10 feet away from the sidewalk. Unless you want to put it in the grass in front of the, by the
I
sidewalk.
think what, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were suggesting moving the benches, putting it closer to the wall.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
Right.
They don't like this one
No,
because of that,
Oh, the
it's
black.
not black, it's
Yeah.
charcoal, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So then the other one they did not do a picture of, but it's this one right here.
and we're in that's.
That is like right, that's right in front of the gathering room outside.
No place to walk to.
You
Yeah,
know,
then you're still standing on the grass.
you can make a path, I suppose.
That's true.
You could do, put for a small sidewalk
Or-
or pavers.
Yeah, yeah, we could do that.
Where is,
That's not a bad look.
where is this one here? This is right
That's
here?
this wall outside,
This way?
this way,
Straight
right,
out.
right straight out.
All right. and then-
Opposite
and then-
handicap parking.
then
Yes,
this-
well,
Sort of.
further
And-
down.
Yeah.
but
Right. This one's right.
Is
there,
this
that spot right
door,
there.
that door?
Which one?
Is that? Is this door?
You can see the car in
This is
front.
right, and this is right here, it's this wall.
Oh, right in front here.
Right here.
Yeah.
I actually still really like it right there.
Right here. So I wanted it by the kids' patio, but there's really, there's no lot there. That's why I was at the corner, because I thought, well, that's close, but they didn't like the color.
Oh,
And we can use that, and DIA is using that, right?
Only till October. I mean, we can wait
Right.
too.
and This is the DIA one right here.
The front corner,
Front corner.
by the bike pad,
So
That,
this.
that one, DIA.
Yeah, TAA's got that one.
okay.
I don't know what the overhang is over here, but honestly, I like where the two benches are. because that is good.
I do too. Move the benches to either side further down. Put benches, they can sit there.
Patio there, I don't,
Yes, that's
I mean, I don't really wanna go look.
But that's, yeah, it seems to me that there's a lot to move
And
there.
it's
I
the
mean, for
slope.
this to work,
The
there's,
benches are, yeah, those benches are.
no, not the benches, the existing concrete there.
We'd have to, they'd have to, I do believe they have to get rid of that to put their stuff in,
Yeah,
and then they'll go back.
and it just will look,
I mean, we might have to take top,
yeah,
top pavers out,
yeah,
tiles out.
Right.
Mhm.
yeah. I like
Wait till
this,
October, I just really like that spot right there, I think that would really, really look nice in that, and because that is such a big area, and that would be a center point.
yeah,
Of that area, and I just think it would-
This one or that one?
yeah,
This one.
this one right
Which is the
here,
one on.
Yeah.
Wait, but 2 on the first page.
No, that's a. we'll talk
And it's
about where the
nice.
benches are.
There were the benches.
Benches. You move the two benches, it's kind of nice, because then you've got the bench, you got that, so there's photo op.
so is
Especially with-
that right out?
Installation's
Okay.
just one.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking
Right,
distance,
the installation might be more.
But that was nice too. I thought.
But we could probably
Yeah.
get the people who installed the pavers to come back and remove the
This
pavers.
one, when we do the outdoor.
Can't be
things,
any more
it's got
expensive than pouring the sidewalk would be another.
Concert.
You know, yeah,
Pouring it there.
yeah, can't be any more expensive probably. I would think.
Summer reading.
But-
Yeah.
I'm not a contractor.
Mhm.
All right,
Okay, so if we ranked as a group where we want it to be,
Mhm. Okay,
if your favorite is the front corner by the bike pad, raise your hand.
which is right here,
That one.
that's,
I like that one too. Okay,
okay,
so if you like in between the benches here,
that was.
okay,
How many?
sorry, Jake, sorry, Jake, you don't have a
And here's the
say.
thing, whichever one actually is the most, feasible is the one that,
feasible or money wise.
well.
What is our
that's-
criteria?
Right?
I think it has to be kind of both.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Much-
because
it's
the
so
front of
expensive
me,
to-
I understand, yeah.
Right, so it's, I mean, I think that aesthetically, that's the nicest spot, but if
This
it
one?
doesn't, yes,
Okay.
aesthetically,
Mhm.
in that, I mean, it's sort of like a little park sitting there, that patio, I love that patio.
Mhm.
And, but if it's not feasible and it's causes a
Okay.
ton of complications.
So that's number one, that's number two, front of house. Do we want to put it there where everybody coming to the library would see
Yeah,
it?
that'd be number three.
But that's number three.
and which picture would that be?
The one that just has bushes.
It's the one that has the low bushes, Rich,
Okay, this is the front, okay.
yeah.
Just a quick question, I don't want to do this part of the conversation. Sorry.
These bushes, we're gonna, well.
Okay.
We're gonna get into that.
Number
Okay.
one, and
I have-
so.
I have one more question slash suggestion. I'm an idea guy. So
Can move down.
where the sign is, the sign appears to be laser cut so that it's see through.
Yeah, no, we talked a little bit about that when they were.
Yeah,
here.
one other thought about that I
Mhm.
had as they were going through is, what if you did to match the balloon color? What if you did a backdrop in the same metal behind the cutouts?
I thought about that, but I thought it might be a rusting corrosion issue, that water gets trapped in there.
You know, if it's far enough apart.
Well, that was just my thought.
No,
when we
no.
We're having the discussion.
No, I've seen it before where it's layered behind it.
Okay,
So that way there's the orange backdrop behind the lettering matches the color of the balloons. It all kind of ties it together. Because if you look at it separately, you've got the Larry figure, the two children on the balloons. Larry doesn't have any balloons or anything else color wise. It almost seems like it needs a little extra pop of color.
well, I could also make that with the color behind it in a sign material. It'd be a
Right.
lot cheaper
Right.
than doing it this way.
Either way, yeah,
Yeah.
either way, depending on how
Okay,
it was done.
so you'd have to
Yeah.
move the bench, take.
I also think, especially if we built it.
Right.
Like if it's on the ground,
Like,
like a marker.
I'm thinking like moss and dirt kind of sitting behind that.
Mm.
If you have the see-through, you know, the
Mhm.
cleaning of it would be.
Yeah,
kind of a-
That's true.
Okay.
Okay, so there's nothing else.
And what was their preference? Did they have, did the friends have a preference?
They like up front. From Patty, not Patty, the lady who spoke,
Linda.
Linda likes up front. She said that. But I know which one they don't want is the one over here. They don't want
Right,
that one.
I understand that.
So I just don't really want to pull up the pavers from the.
Just, yeah,
Yeah.
you know what, and
Yeah.
honestly, I think, okay, you know, if they do it up front, I think it will look really nice coming into the library.
Mhm.
However, it's, you know, if they also think they would like it as a photo, it's really nice.
Yeah,
Because
Because
people aren't
we're
hanging
just-
out there. you know.
Right, and it's bushes, people aren't gonna, you know, stand in the flower bed, that, it's not gonna
yeah,
happen.
and this feels more like a gathering space versus,
It
a,
is.
you know, a traffic space.
Mhm.
Right,
And up
Okay.
front, it's,
right,
I don't know, it doesn't feel as respectful or as
It is
memorializing.
People walking by, whereas when it's out here, when there are programs that are outside, people would then be more likely to move up to it, take a photo op.
Yeah,
You know, you
who's
have
gonna
the
really
kids
read
more-
it in that flower bed,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, it would look nice, but I don't think that it would actually get used as much.
Mhm.
But we could also see what it costed. I know that 360 has the hockey pucks that we can use to attach it to the building, like we
Okay.
did over by the Dropbox.
Right.
Over there. Okay, so I'll work with 360 to get a price on the sign. They're working with the artist to get all that taken up. And then I will move the bench. We can move the bench. They're not bolted, or they are bolted? Yeah, okay, so we can move the benches. And then I will contact the people who laid the patio and see what they recommend if I had to take stuff out.
Okay,
Yeah,
right,
Okay. And then we'll not get that done before the 6th. But I will let them know what our preference was for areas. And go to the meeting after that in April. With more information, and I can talk to them anytime I catch them back here too. Okay. All right, so do I have a motion to go home
I have one last question, sorry.
on this or something else?
Something else,
Okay,
what's our status on the drive window?
So I just looked into the site plan applications and started filling that out.
okay.
So I'll see what information is needed on that. Bit of a long one, but. Now I'm gonna meet with Sean.
Yeah, you said that what would we sort of provide as a site
I
plan?
haven't looked at it fully, we just pulled it out the other day, just to kind of examine it real quick. And get it going.
I would think except for that area right where it needs to be cut out, which I thought we had. When we first approved this, there would have been some documentation.
We all have the plan, I'm talking about the application.
Okay, but this, but you know, when I read that and said site plan, I thought it meant the original site plan for the library.
It means what we're doing for the window so far, but it could later on.
I thought they needed
say
both.
That's fine.
Okay, that's what I thought. They needed the original site plan. And what that cutout's gonna look like. And I thought that the vendor we went with, I thought he had actually drawn the plan.
Yeah, I have already.
Okay, okay. Great. I just wonder what the standard.
Get it all together.
Okay, great.
I was gonna ask Liz, but I didn't want to put her on the spot. I hadn't talked to her about it if she knew. All right.
I thought that was the next thing was getting that
Yes.
paperwork. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, filling out the application.
Okay,
Motion
so
to
where's
adjourn.
the motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay,
I
Eric
will
made the
second that.
motion. And Glenn, all in favor?
Aye,
Okay.
9:02 is what I had.
4 more yeses, 902. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Eric and Gwen.
902.
Yes, ma'am.